So we're the 3rd week of April, and you can really kind of get sowing all sorts of things now, sowing outdoors as well as indoors. I've got my parsnips in this week. I'm still sowing carrots, a couple of rows a week. Got my leeks in, got my Brussels in this week. All sorts of things can go in, and I'm also going to be doing my winter squashes, my cucumbers and courgettes. So I'm going to be planting those today. So let's get started. So I'm getting my squashes and things planted today, and I'm going to take these home. I've actually set myself up a little pop-up greenhouse that I remembered I had. I used to grow mushrooms, and I had it set up in the spare room at home, believe it or not, much to the annoyance of the wife, with a little mister and sort of temperature controls and all that stuff. It's probably about nearly the size of this bench. It's probably 6 foot long and about 2.5 foot deep. It's only got a few shelves, but I can get a few bits and bobs in there. And the good thing is, because it's at home, I've run a heater out with a thermostat control. So I've set it at 12 degrees, because we've had a few cold nights. Even with the heater, it struggles to keep fully up, but it got quite cold last night, and it did actually get down to 8C in the greenhouse, even with an 80 watt bar heater. So today, because I'm going to sow these seeds and get them in, I've actually put a second heat pad in there. So I've now got an 80 watt 2 foot tube heater, and I've got an 80 watt heat mat that I sometimes stand my pots on for anything that needs a bit of bottom heat. So I've got 160 watt of electric heating in there now. So I'm hoping that will keep it up to nearer to 10 and 12, as a minimum if we get a cold night. Right, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my courgettes, my squashes and things in these little 9cm pots, and I'm going to put the label this end and sow 5 of each type. And I've got 6 different things I'm going to sow, so I'm going to do 2 trays. The seeding mix that I've sort of settled on using this year, this is all my own compost. I'm not going to buy any more compost ever if I can help it. So this is basically, I do a half and half mix in these green trugs. So I do about that much leaf mould and homemade compost, all sieved through a 1/2 inch sieve just to get the worst of the lumps out. And then I put 1 scoop of perlite and 1 scoop of vermiculite and 2 scoops, again sieved through the same 1/2 inch sieve, of worm castings. So a couple of scoops of worm castings, bit of perlite, bit of vermiculite, and then it's just leaf mould and compost, homemade. And it seems the things I've planted so far seem to do quite well in it, so this is what I'm using. So I'm just going to fill these pots loosely. And then I'll just sort of give them a bit of a knockdown. So what I'll do is, once I've filled them, is just bang them like that, just to settle it down. And just go back over and fill them to the top. And then they will settle a little bit when you're watering, but I don't mind that, because that allows you to take them out of your greenhouse, because I've got my electrics in there, so I water everything outside until it's stopped dripping through, and then I put them back in when I'm watering them. Just get all the excess compost off the sides. Now I'll just take these out of here so I can move this out of the way. Let's put that down there. So I've done all my labels already, so I'm just going to stick these in, and then I will plant what I've got to the labels. So I'll start with the basic courgette. So just doing basic green courgette. Bought this pack last year, quite a few seeds in it. Just a basic green courgette, and like I say, any of these things that I'm planting in here now, they need to be kept warm. They're not hardy, so keep them indoors if you're allowed to, or in a greenhouse if you're lucky enough to have one. So all I do with any of these seeds I don't know if there's a specific way you're supposed to do it, but I just put them on their edge, side on, straight down, and put them down to about the first knuckle of my finger. So what's that, 3/4 of an inch to an inch, something like that. And that seems to work. So that's 5 of those. So I am going to be doing a bit more seed sowing outdoors today as well. I'm going to put some more carrots in. Like I said, I got all my parsnips in yesterday. I have got to re-sow some cabbages because I had a bit of slug damage. Oh, they just do my head in, slugs do. Slug or snail, don't know which one it was, I haven't caught them yet. I try not to use slug pellets. I have still got a thing of slug pellets, an old one. Try not to use it, but occasionally just around a seed bed I think I may have to, because they finished off all my first March sowings of greyhound, cabbage and broccoli. Maybe a few of the broccolis have made it, but yeah, they really can cause you strife this time of year. Right, then we have a winter squash. Where's that one? So all these squashes are new ones. I'm not actually growing any of the honey boat squash, which I usually grow every year. I thought I had some seeds, I couldn't find them, and I'd already ordered these, and I just thought, wow, I'll stick with these. So these are all new to me, haven't grown them before. So this first one is an F1, and it's a pack within a pack. Just snip the top of that off. So it's called F1 Stripetti. So this is like a spaghetti squash. Now I've never grown a spaghetti squash before, but I just thought, you know, they look pretty cool, so I'm gonna just give them a go for a bit of fun, see how they do. 5 seeds. Again, just sow them on their edge to about an inch down, just in the centre of the pot. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how you cook spaghetti squash. I assume you just boil it as if you would normal spaghetti, but I'll have to have a bit of a Google on that and see, but it looks pretty good anyway. So that's that one, and this is all pretty quick and easy really, isn't it, banging these in? You don't have to, you know, it's not rocket science. Right, what we got next? So this, another first for me. I've got my cucumbers, and I saw these gherkin cucumbers, and I do love a gherkin. No one else in the family I don't think really likes them, but I do, so I thought I'm going to, for the first time, grow some gherkins to pickle. So they're called pickle bush, gherkin cucumber pickle bush. Quite a big pack, and just a few seeds at the bottom. I don't know, yeah, I thought they'd be a bit dinky, but actually not too small. So again, same thing on its side, about 3/4 of an inch to an inch down should do it. Oh, there's a worm there, getting there, Mr. Worm. And 5, and then just cover them over. In you get, worm, you can stay in there. That's 5 of those, and I won't be watering these until I get home, otherwise they will soak the back of my van. So what have we got next? Another winter squash. Don't know how you pronounce this. Uchiki curry. I've heard of it, quite a common squash I think, but I've never grown it. So another first. But I do like my squashes, and I am actually going to sow some butternut squash as well, but I forgot to bring the seed with me, so I will sow those tomorrow. These are quite chunky looking seeds. 5 of those. Same again, just on its side, about an inch down. So I'm growing quite a few squash because I gave my potato patch a rest last year, and I had my mate over yesterday to till it all. He bought a machine from work and he came and tilled the whole patch for me. And I think I've got 35 or 40 kilos of seed potatoes, but I'm going to do quite a few of them in containers, and I'm going to do 2 or 3 beds. I'm running a trial on electroculture, 3-bed trial, so I'm going to do a bed of my second earlies, which I still haven't put in yet because I tend not to put my potatoes in until about the beginning of May. I'd rather be a bit late than have them get hit by frost, because I've been hit by frost with my potatoes almost every year if I do them in April, so I just leave it till about the 1st of May now. But yeah, so I'm going to do some in containers, some in the beds here, so I don't think all of my potato patch is going to be used. So I'm going to grow some of these squash potentially in the potato patch, but also I've done extra sweet corn this year, which I just planted before these. I've done 90 plants, and those are going to be for me to eat, obviously, but also I feed them to the chickens. I just snap the cobs off and the chickens love them, so it's just an extra bonus really for the chickens. But yeah, so quite a few plants obviously are going to take up a bit of space, but I'm hoping I'm going to have enough room. But I'd rather sow enough plants and end up having to give some away than end up with not enough for myself. So this is another one I've heard of but never grown. It's an F1, it's called Crown Prince. Nice big white seeds. That's 5 of them. And then lastly is my cucumber, and this is the variety that I'm kind of gonna stick with now. Let me just get these little bits before they blow away in the wind. This variety I've grown now for a couple of years, and they just do really quite well. Now I think you can grow these up canes or whatever, but I tend to just let them sprawl on the ground and they seem to do okay. And it's just cucumber, they're just called Market More, and they seem to do okay just sprawling on the ground. Yeah, I haven't grown cucumber for more than 3 or 4 years, so I'm fairly new to it, but I've tried a few varieties and this one just seems to do pretty well. Seems pretty bomb proof. There's quite a few seeds in there actually. This was a deal. It was Simply Seed, and I think it was 3 packs. I think they're only like 80p a pack or something, but if you bought 2 you got 1 free, I think. And does it say how many? Yeah, 30 seeds. So that's quite a few, you know. I don't know if they'll last that long, but I've been growing seed. My tomatoes that I sowed this year, I've got a pack of Moneymaker tomato seeds that are over 5 years old. They're out of date, and I sowed the last of them with some Gardener's Delight. The Gardener's Delight all came up, and the Moneymaker didn't. And I thought, oh, you know, they're obviously out of date. That's it. They've had their day. But I left the pot in the greenhouse, and about 4 days later, they all came up. So they were a bit late, but they've all come up, and they were over 5 years old, I think, and out of date as well. So it just goes to show you, it's always worth giving your older seeds a go. Just bung them in and see what happens. There you go. That's 5 cucumbers. So I'll just top these up a little bit. So like I say, I'll take these home, water them, put them in the little pop-up greenhouse, and keep them hopefully minimum 10 to 12 C, and that's just as a backup. Obviously during the day I positioned it where it gets the sun at least sort of 8 to 10 hours a day, so I have to unzip the door because it does get right up into the 30s quite quickly when the sun's on it. But yeah, with those 2 heat pads now, I'm hoping to keep these at a minimum of 12 C during the night, because we are still getting those cold nights. So it's a funny time of year. You get a day like today where it's really nice and sunny, and you can get lulled into a false sense of security really, and you think, oh, I'm going to start bunging everything in, and then you suddenly get, especially down here, this is a bit of a frost trap. I can suddenly get a -3 or something one night, and you can lose it all. So I've kind of learnt from that. You know, I am new to all this as well, and I just need to learn the process still a little bit. You know, I'm just being honest. So I do just need to watch out for frost down here. And like I say, I've just learnt with my potatoes to I just don't put them in April anymore. It's just no point, because I know I get frost late May very often down here. Even early June I've had frost. I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I lost all my tomato plants one year on the 6th of June. We had a minus, I think it was 2.5, 3. Quite a hard frost, especially as it was June. And obviously all my potatoes was up. This was a few years ago when I had them all out in the ground. I wasn't doing any containers and that, and they all got hit. They did come back and had a harvest, but I just think getting knocked by frost knocks them back for longer than just putting them in the ground a couple of weeks later than most people would. So I know some people may plant their potatoes in end of March or something, but for me, I think just waiting till the 1st of May is when I tend to put them in, and they catch up. You get some nice warm weather and they catch up really well. But anyway, so what else am I putting in? So I've done sweet corn, like I say, did that just before these. So that's all my squashes, courgettes. I am going to plant some more greyhound cabbage because of the slug damage. They literally had the whole lot of my March sowing, so that was really annoying. I'm also going to put my chard in today. This is just bright lights, which is, you know, most people have heard of the bright lights. I do like that one. And I'm also going to get, I should have sown these last month, and I just, in all honesty, just totally forgot. I do like my turnips, and this is a F1 Alderton, quite a fast turnip. I tend to do those. I start them in just a little plug tray like that, and I'll just pop them in wherever. It's a bit like growing radish, really. You can just bung them in here and there. They're fairly quick. If you harvest them when they're sort of golf ball sized, you know. So I'm gonna get a few other things in, and there's a lot of stuff you can start in April. So yeah, get your seeds in, guys. But anyway, that's it. I'm gonna take these home and get them nice and secure in some warmth, and hopefully we'll have some good germination. But anyway, guys, take it easy, and we'll see you next time.